Hey guys, hope everyone's having a great Memorial Day and has had a good weekend so far. As always, I'm out here on these holiday weekends, especially Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day, doing deer projects. And this year is no different. So here it is, Memorial Day, and I'm out hanging a tree stand. So you can see the tree stand right there, right over my shoulder. I just hung. And I talk about, taking a good stand site and making it a great stand site. So this pine tree that this stand is in is located right on a field edge. In fact, there's 3 rows of these pines right on this field edge. And then on the other side is a bedding thicket. It's actually my sanctuary. So when the bucks run the downwind edge of this cover, they like to work right through these pine trees. It's a good spot. If I did absolutely nothing at all, it would be a great spot. But I came in here and I've had my eye on this spot for a while. Just never have hung a stand here because I've got another stand that's not all that far away. In fact, that other stand is where Terry Pierce shot his King David buck last year. But anyway, I've been thinking about how I could make this spot just a little bit better. So I came in here and did a couple things I want to share with you. So first, if I turn and spin, get my camera just right, you can see that little pile of brush there over to the side. And then there's another pile of brush there. So I've made an opening where I can put those deer right where I want them, between those piles of brush. And so they're gonna walk right up within about, I don't know, probably 10 yards or less of my stand. And I don't have the stand all that high because it's in this pine tree, and it's also back in kind of a little pocket with 2 pine trees in front of that one, just off to the left and off to the right. So I'm kind of back in that little triangle of 3 pine trees where the deer cannot see me until they're right there in the open. If I see them coming, I'm ready, and they step in that open and I'm ready to shoot. But to help take their attention off of my direction and get them to focus their attention on the other side of the trail away from my stand, if I turn around, you can see I've hung a rope, and there'll be a rope scrape right there. So that rope scrape, I just stepped it off, is exactly 10 yards from my stand. And as I look at my stand is probably no more than 15 feet high, probably 13 to 15 feet high. It's not that high, but I got a lot of cover. I'm in that pine, and like I said, there's trees in front of me as well on both the left and right hand side. But this is what I mean about taking a good stand site and making it a great stand site. So as those deer approach where my stand is at, they can't see me. There's so much cover, they can't see me, and I'm gonna have to be on my toes, so them bucks are gonna be right in front of me before I see them. The other thing I've done is I've directed the deer's attention away from me. My stand is on one side of this path they're going to be following. This rope scrape behind me is on the other side of the path. So my plan is those deer will come down this path I've made by blocking the brush on either side, leaving a gap in the middle. And as they're traveling along this downwind edge of the bedding cover, they're going to come to this rope scrape. I will come in here in late September, and I will put some scent on that rope scrape and get the deer hitting it. Although I've seen them hit a lot of these rope scrapes without ever putting scent on them, but the scent definitely helps. So I'll come in here in late September and get that rope scented up, and as they come through, their attention will be focused opposite the side of the trail that I'm on. Hopefully they will stop and work that scrape. And when they do, they're going to give me a perfect 10-yard shot. So, I know there's a lot of guys out there shooting long distance at whitetails, but guys, there's really no sense in it. My maximum range is 30 yards. And to be honest, I cannot remember the last time I shot a whitetail over 25 yards. In fact, back in 2020, I shot 2 bucks. It would have been Mel and the Joey buck. And the total distance in both those shots was less than 20 yards. I shot 1 buck at 12 yards and 1 buck at 7 yards. I'm putting them bucks right in my lap. And when they get that close, it's hard to miss. But anything you can do to take and make your stand site just a little bit better, You got to stay hid, you got to play the wind, you got to have good access. I will access this stand right across that field, straight to this stand, right up the tree. Wind will be blowing back out into that open field, hopefully at an angle instead of straight out, and that'll just encourage those bucks all the more to follow this edge. They'll be able to follow it with a wind that's quartering into their nose. But even if the wind is blowing straight out from the woods to the field, they can still have a crosswind where they will run this downwind edge. And I've seen bucks run this downwind edge for years. If we get, it's going to take an easterly wind, southeast, northeast would be ideal, but even straight east. And you know, I've hunted this edge in different locations for a number of years, a couple decades really. And when we get an easterly wind that first week in November, before the does are actually in heat, when those bucks are really cruising hard, you can sit on this edge and see multiple bucks in a morning hunt. I'd say on average you're going to see 5 to 7 bucks. A good morning you're going to see 10 or 12. But they just love to cruise this downwind edge, and the reason for it is behind this rope scrape on that side of the trail is a major bedding area. That's my sanctuary. That's the spot that I leave for the deer. Don't have any stands or anything like that in there. I'm hunting on the very edge of that really thick bedding cover that's undisturbed, and those bucks just want to cruise the downwind edge because they can smell everything that's in there bedded, while they're also scent checking for danger. But I'm right on that edge where they can't get me, and I've made an ideal path for them to come through. And then I gave them a reason to stop right here in front of my stand with that rope. Gave them a reason to stop right here in easy shooting range. So stay tuned. Hopefully I'll shoot a buck at this stand this fall and be able to share that video with you. I think I will put a trail camera on this rope scrape. It probably won't be one that I check very often, because I just don't want to come in here unless I'm hunting. But it'll give me inventory. If I put it in here when I come in September to scent that rope, and then I don't come back and check it until after season, it'll give me a good idea of what kind of activity was on this edge, and I'll be able to see every buck on the property from this one camera. But just a good way to take inventory at this spot. I've got a tree picked out for the camera that if I turn around here, you can see it right there behind me, where I'll cover the trail and the rope scrape. So anything passing through, whether it hits the rope scrape or not, I'm going to get a good picture of it. So anyway, hope you guys are having a great weekend. And remember, turn those good stands into great stands.